Kentucky 33, Florida 14. Yeah, the Gators shouldn't have been ranked this week, guys. I think we all saw at least some sort of disappointment coming. Third time in the last 6 seasons that Kentucky has started 5-0. Mark Stoops has the best job in college sports. He's getting paid $9 million to go, 7-5, 8-4 every year. At least that's the expectation. And nobody will say boo. This is Kentucky football. They run the ball. They had a tremendous day on the ground. Ray Davis rushed for all the yards, 280 of them, 3 touchdowns. They held Florida to just 69 yards rushing. Trey,
Nice.
earlier you said Florida can't throw the ball. I'll push back on that just a little bit because even though Graham Mertz gets all this hate, he's actually the 4th most accurate passer in the country. They showed that on a graphic this morning, and that blew my mind. Mertz moved the ball okay through the air, but their bread and butter is handing it off, moving the pile, rushing down the field, and you got to win with some time of possession. And they did none of that today. They turned the football over a couple of times. Kentucky was just the better team today.
Yeah, and I'm pulling up the stats right now because I want to see how many times Mertz had to throw it. And I guess it was only 30, so that was actually a really efficient performance for him. But just, yeah, when your defense is giving up as many run yards, you really don't have a chance. It doesn't matter how well you're running or throwing the football, right? You're probably not going to win the game. But hats off to Kentucky because Garrett and I really didn't give them a lot of a chance in this one on the preview pod. We kind of picked Florida to come in there and take care of business. But, Kentucky's looking like the team we thought they could be. They just hadn't shown it yet. So maybe they were sandbagging. Maybe they weren't showing their hand until they got to the Florida game. But kudos to Kentucky. Big one with Georgia coming up really, really soon.
Well, and it was finally establishing themselves and proving that they were real. Like, that was our thing, was we were like, which of these teams is real? We don't really know. We're like, maybe it's Kentucky, maybe it's Florida. We went with Florida because Mertz was the more efficient passer. Though, I think you have a bigger, boom bust with Leary. But I just, passing game was not a factor today for Kentucky. They didn't need it to be a factor. They ran for 329 yards. They did whatever they wanted to on the ground. So,
and that's when they're at their best. You're absolutely right. That is when they're at their best.
And so I think if you're able to establish the run, if they're able to just do that, that's going to win them a lot of games. That might be the formula against Georgia. Don't give them a lot of chances. Don't let them hold the ball. Force them to execute at a high level. Gash some of that, upfront stuff. That might be the formula if you're Kentucky to win that game. So I'm not necessarily saying that they're going to win that game. I'm just saying that's a raised eyebrow game for me. Whereas previously I might not have believed too much in Kentucky.
Gracious him! How about that?